What's good everyone, welcome back to JDB Selects. Now if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and be sure to leave your tips and predictions in the comments below. We're on the road to 3,000 subscribers and your support goes a long way. Now going over our round 17 results, we managed to tip 3 out of 4 games. The Sharks weathered the Melbourne Storm with ease, something I thought could happen but really didn't expect. The first game of round 18 is a top-of-the-table showdown in Townsville between the second-placed North Queensland Cowboys and the fourth-placed Cronulla Sharks. The Cowboys came out on top in the Queensland Derby against the Broncos in round 16 and enjoyed a week off with the bye last week. Meanwhile, the Sharks defeated an abysmal Melbourne Storm outfit by 28 points to 6 at home last Thursday and will be looking to make it 5 wins on the trot. The Sharks have an outstanding record over the Cowboys in recent years, having won 11 of the past 13 games and go into this one having won 7 straight against North Queensland, who haven't beaten the Sharks in Townsville since 2018. However, the Cowboys have won 5 straight at home and have scored 30 points or more in all 5 games, so I'm going to take the Cowboys 13+. I think the Sharks have had an easier draw than most and beating a depleted Storm side isn't that impressive. The final Friday fixture has the 6th-placed Parramatta Eels hosting the 13th-placed New Zealand Warriors at CommBank Stadium, Sydney. The Eels continued their win-1-lose-1 streak with a rather unconvincing 8-point win over the Wests Tigers last Saturday, while the Warriors comprehensively beat the same team a week earlier in their return to Mount Smart Stadium and enjoyed the bye last week. Both sides have won 5 apiece in their last 10 meetings, however Parramatta have won 4 of the past 5 and have a perfect 2-0 record at CommBank Stadium against the Warriors. Now I'm going to tip with my heart and not my head here and take the Warriors 1-12. Given how inconsistent the Eels have been against bottom 8 sides, I'd rather tip the Warriors and they lose than not tip them and they get the win. Super Saturday gets underway with the 10th-placed Sydney Roosters hosting the 9th-placed St George Illawarra Dragons at Central Coast Stadium, Gosford. The Roosters went down to the Premiership-leading Panthers by 8 points back in round 16 and enjoyed the bye last week, while the Dragons got put to the sword by the Broncos last Sunday, going down 32 points to 18 at Suncorp Stadium. The Roosters and Dragons have never played each other at Central Coast Stadium, and while the Roosters have a solid record over the Dragons in recent years, having won 7 of the past 8, the Dragons got the better of them already this year during the Anzac Day clash. I'm taking the Roosters by 13+. I think they'll want revenge from Anzac Day, and 6 of their last 10 games against St George have been won by 16 points or more. The second game on Saturday is the 8th-placed Manly Sea Eagles taking on the 12th-placed Newcastle Knights at 4 Pines Park, Sydney. The Sea Eagles defeated the Melbourne Storm in round 16 despite a late scare that was an eerily similar situation to the Cowboys game a week earlier. Meanwhile, the Knights went down valiantly to the South Sydney Rabbitohs in a competitive high-scoring affair. The Knights have won 3 of the past 4, however they have only won 7 of their 26 trips to Sydney to face Manly. The two sides have been relatively hard to split in recent times, with 7 of the past 10 games being decided by 8 points or less. While Newcastle have started to find their attack, I have to tip the Sea Eagles by 1-12 points. They've proven more so far in 2022 and should be too strong for the Knights at home. And the final game on Saturday has the 15th-placed Gold Coast Titans hosting the 5th-placed Brisbane Broncos. The Titans' woes have continued, slumping to their 13th loss for the season and 6th straight against the Knights back in round 16. Meanwhile, the Broncos snapped their 2-game losing streak with an impressive victory against the Dragons last week despite being short of their origin stars. The Titans have only won 6 of their 15 home games against the Broncos and should be up against it again this week. I'm taking the Broncos 13+. They showed last week against the Dragons how dominant they can be even without most of their star forwards, and I believe they will be far too strong for the Titans, regardless of which players back up from origin. There are 3 Sunday fixtures this week, and first up, the last-placed Wests Tigers host the first-placed Penrith Panthers at CommBank Stadium, Sydney. The Tigers failed to beat the Eels for the second time this year, going down by 8 points last week. The Panthers enjoyed the bye, however, they extended their winning streak to 7 with a win over the Roosters in round 16. The Tigers have only won 3 of the past 13 meetings between the two sides, however, history may be on the Tigers' side as they managed to get the best of an origin-depleted Panthers side last year during this period of the season. I'm recording this video on Monday, so I'm going to take the Panthers by 1 to 12 points, however I may change my tip if they do end up resting all of their Origin players, and if I do I will pin a comment on this video. The second game on Sunday has the third-placed Melbourne Storm hosting the 11th-placed Canberra Raiders at Amy Park, Melbourne. The Storm suffered back-to-back defeats for the second time this season, going down to Manly and then Cronulla in rounds 16 and 17. The Raiders enjoyed the bye last week, however, were arguably hard done by the week prior, with the Dragons controversially claiming the 2 points by 2 points. The Storm have a far superior record against the Raiders, having won 72% of their games against Canberra and go into this having won 5 straight. However, in a surprising twist of fate, the Raiders have won their last 3 outings at Amy Park. Now it's rare that the Storm lose 2 in a row, yet alone 3, but with Munster likely out with COVID, Brandon Smith likely to be suspended and Kenny Bromwich under an injury cloud, I think it's the Raiders to lose, so I'm taking them 1 to 12. And the final game of round 18 is the 14th-placed Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs hosting the 7th-placed South Sydney Rabbitohs at Accor Stadium, Sydney. The Bulldogs enjoyed the bye last week, however, went down to the Sharks in round 16 in miserable conditions. South Sydney on the other hand played last week and managed to turn away a determined Newcastle side in a high-scoring contest last Saturday. The Rabbits have won 4 of the past 5, including 3 straight. I think the Bulldogs have shown great improvement in recent games, but I just think Souths are a different beast when Latrell is playing, so I have to tip Souths 1 to 12. So in summary, I'm taking the Cowboys 13+, the Warriors 1 to 12, the Roosters 13+, the Sea Eagles 1 to 12, the Broncos 13+, and the Panthers, Raiders and Rabbitohs 1 to 12. And those are my round 18 NRL tips and predictions. Let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree, and subscribe to never miss a video.